A lot of people complain about the Nigerian mentality, about the mindset of a lot of average Nigerians, about how it doesn't make sense. But I dare say, and I think that the reactions a lot of Nigerians give are symptoms, not a cause. Now, whether we like it or not, we're a product of our environment. Our environment has more effect on us than we can ever think of, in such a way that it begins to affect you, that what you think is the norm is what is acceptable until you test it in a different environment. And that is the whole essence of culture. That is how culture is formed. Culture is just a way of life of any group of people that has been accepted over time. And usually what happens is that it is the dominant and influential forces in any society that dictates the trend of forces that happens over a period of time. And usually they're leaders, the media, and influential people, maybe people with gifts that resonate with people a lot of time. So when a lot of people complain about Nigerians, I just think they are talking about symptoms, but more often than not, you take these symptoms and see it as a basis to judge everybody. Though that is the reality, you just have to judge them based on what you see. But to really understand, to really prefer solutions, to be able to see things in a more positive light, to be able to get better at things, we need to see the larger picture, which is a symptoms of an existing symptoms, which is a symptoms of the existing system. Now, a typical instance is, so let's say Lagos, for instance. Let's say you pick someone, let's say in one hood, one either like Makoko or like deep down in Agege, two siblings. You leave one in Agege and you take one to a developed country, say US or Canada, right from when they were born. If you see those set of people in the same environment for 30 years, it will be two totally different people. And one thing that also affects the Nigerian population, what that also affects the way a lot of Nigerians react, is that they've been subjected to a lot of deprivation. They've been subjected to a lot of failed system for a very long time, that it has become a norm and part of their lifestyle. Because the system that we see now is a domino effect of how those in charge had treated it. Now, from independence, for instance, say the leaders we had from like in the 1960s and 1970s, the reaction of the society they had created will show after they've left. So say a group of governments come into power, you think if what they are doing, if they are not solving real problem or causing more problem, you really will not, it will not manifest until after a few years. Now, for every time a group of leaders don't create a very good system and there's failure in the system, the problem increases. Now, to be able to solve that kind of problem, you need a level of intelligence and understanding greater than what was there before. But however, if a group of leaders actually do something right and do something positive to the society, you don't need so much of, let's say, some level of intelligence to continue such a system. And that's that's typically what has led to underdevelopment in many African countries and also developed countries. Let's take Nigeria, for instance. Obviously, from the 1960s to the first coup, why was there a coup in the first place? In as much as some people call it a tribal coup, or it was not a tribal coup, that is a subject for another day. But something still remained, that there was something deficient in the leadership. Now, the coup created a lot of transition, a lot of, disruption in the system, which progressed to, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, until we've had constant democracy. The truth is that over these few years, we've never had constant regime. We've never had constant people in power. We've never had the best of people in power. So there has been damages that have been created in the system. And now the new leaders that were into power were not creating better solutions. Most of them were just trying to, looking for the best word to use, trying to solidify their political position. And that is what has happened since 1999. Every leader is more interested in the politics of it, the ability to remain in power, than actually making true development. And when you don't solve the real issue of development in a particular place, you make it worse. So that's why, if you look at from 1999 till now, a lot of politicians, apart from the president, local government, they are all interested in their political career. People's development is secondary. Oh, I'm local government chairman, I became governor. A governor, I become president. The same thing. I think our present president is also more interested in the political system than true development. Because if it tackles some form of development, the system might push him out if he's not up to the task. And that's why, because a lot of our leaders are not really focused on true development, they create the system degenerates more, creating more problem, meaning you need people with higher level of intelligence to solve the problem that was created. It's just like in medicine, when you have like a wound or pus or anything, if you don't treat it, it goes bad. It goes for just normal skin wound to, spreading, to pus, to maggot forming. Then it takes more level of expertise. For instance, a normal GP doctor, local government doctor, can just treat a small wound. But leave that small wound for like another 1 year. It goes so bad that it spread to the bone. Then you don't need a GP. Now you need maybe a plastic surgeon to now cure what's supposed to be a simple wound. And that's the same thing that's happening in the Nigerian space. The problem is so bad that it is getting worse, and you need a high level of intelligence to solve it. Now let's come to developed nation, let's say America or Canada or Japan. Now, because they've created a very good system, they've created institutions. The institutions can, in a way, still work itself. So you don't need too much level of intelligence to maintain such a system. Now, not to grow the system, to maintain such a system. For instance, I'm not in politics in US or Canada, but I can bet you if I become Prime Minister of England today, or if I become the president of president of US today, an average person will still be making the same money he's making. An average person will still most likely buy food at the price they are buying. But there's high chance that the system will be stagnated. And because there is no growth, the system will push me out because I'm not worthy to be there. But in countries like Nigeria, where things are still in a high level of underdevelopment, even though I'm not performing up to par, there's a high chance the system will not push me because I am more focusing on how I can sit in power than the real solutions. And in developed countries, because those that have been before them had done a good job, it's easier for whoever is there to maintain it. Now, that is why a lot of these countries still complain that they are not growing as much, because some of the leaders they have might not necessarily have what it takes, or the level of intelligence, or the knowledge, or the know-how to expand or double the economy. But to a large extent, they are still relatively stable. Like, you can get basic thing of good house, healthcare, and at least a good job, and you know that you are safe. So So back to the whole essence of this video. Why you are angry about a lot of how Nigerians behave is because of the bad system that's been engraved into the subconscious. And if you are so consumed about like if your environment gets so much to you for a very long time, you start acting it out. It will take, you have to leave the environment before you can really know that, okay, how I was behaving was actually wrong. So for every time a lot of Nigerians behave, funny, a lot of people are complaining, always know that it's a result of the symptoms. It's a symptom issue, not the real cause. Till tomorrow you still be complaining, oh, I don't like a lot of influencers complain about, hey, Nigeria is this, Nigeria is I don't like Nigerians, we are our problem. Nigeria's problem is still leadership, whether you like it or not. People will still do what they want to do. People will still behave in ways that not in the best interest, even though you have the best of leaders or not. But to actually create a society where majority still behave normal and there can be some level of success, is not by telling Nigerians, oh, don't do this, your attitude is good. It's good to educate, fine. But if we don't solve our leadership problem in Nigeria, things won't get better. And that is my thought. Most of behavior in any society are symptoms of an underlying cause. See you on the next video. Thank you.